Hi, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about limitations. Okay, limitations. This all kind of this conversation came up because I was dating someone a long time ago, and I was asking him through just like general conversation what he thinks about plus size women. I don't know why we were on the subject of weight, but we were. It wasn't, I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I said, what do you feel about like plus size women? And at the time I was much slimmer than I am now. So, I wasn't part of the category he was like referring to. But I was thinking about plus size women. He was like, plus size people are overweight people in general. What's your thoughts on that? And we always had like intellectual talks like this. And he said, my thoughts on people who are overweight, like obese, overweight, is that they don't have any limitations. And that's how I view them, as not having any limits in life. And that's problematic. And I was like, well, I never really even thought about the fact that, he said, so it's not that I look at, he said he didn't look at obese people as disgusting, like they were gross, but he did feel like you can see that there's something in their life where they just had no limits. And that, I just thought that was a really good way of putting it, because that is really true, not just about weight, just like in life. If people display no limitations in many different ways.
I mean, I think that limitations kind of goes hand in hand with discipline. Limitations can go, it just shows like, I guess it just goes with discipline. I mean, because you can have no limits in so many areas of your life. And, like with me, it's like sweet treats. Like I love sugar. I like candy, or not candy, but I like cookies and pie. I like to bake. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's too much.
And you feel like once you start,
I'd rather have.
You don't know when to stop.
I'd rather have dessert than dinner.
Well, that's weird.
I just love sweets. You know what I mean? And so, but there are, discipline. I have to take discipline because I'll be eating that way, and then I'll have to work out even harder. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, it's important. I mean, limitations are important. What he said was a good point. Because a lot of people, because a lot of people do, overdo things. It's like I was saying this the other day to someone about marijuana, and somebody was saying, "Oh, but marijuana's from the earth." You know what I mean? Like it's good for you. It's like, it is good for you, but to the point of when it becomes something you have to wake up to do, something you have to do during the day, something you have to do to go to sleep, then it becomes your like crutch. It also becomes like your master.
Right.
And the same thing is like food or smoking or
even
drugs or anything like that. And even work. You know what I mean? Whatever you can't control or it's filling a void in your life, it becomes the master of you.
Yeah, like you can't have valuable relationships if you don't have.
What he said was a good point. You know what I mean? Is that most people say that, like especially men, was I don't like heavy women because.
Well, that's what I was when he said that though. I was expecting him to be like, I mean. This is a person, he kind of thinks bigger than just what he's looking at. So, but when it comes to conversations like that, I was really kind of happy to know he didn't go right to, you need to eat a salad. That's what they need to do. They need to eat salads, you know what I mean? And work out and just stop. It's like, he's like, yeah, that's the obvious. Yeah, obviously we know he needs to change their habits. But what was most, like to him, what stood out the most is that when you see people who are doing something to the extreme, so even if you're anorexic or have an eating disorder each way, if you are a workaholic, whatever it is, like smoking marijuana, overdoing that, you don't have limitations, and that creates a lazy life, a lazy life, and you become very emotionally detached, even from yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's what I felt like. Well, that is true. He says when he sees heavy people, since that was the conversation, people who are obese, he said it just shows me that they don't know when to stop. Right. And that in turn makes him wonder. So what about you in your life happened that where you just feel you cannot stop? You know.
Yeah, I mean, like what happens here, with people smoking weed. Yeah. It's just too much sometimes. Yeah. It's just.
We work in a hotel, so sometimes people smoke. And sometimes when I see especially particularly, well, all smokers in general, but particularly weed smokers, is that some people, I know it's a popular thing, right? Everyone smokes, a lot of people smoke marijuana, you know, it's becoming legal and all that, but I see the people who are just like, they cannot function in their life without starting continuously smoking throughout the day. And I know people who smoke marijuana in a more responsible way to where it really is helping them in some way.
I'm not against marijuana.
Me neither.
I'll drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, I actually think it should be legal.
Wine every once in a while. Alcohol's legal. Cigarettes are legal.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem. I think marijuana should be legal.
Me too.
But I think that there are people who are just, if you're smoking it because you have cancer and it's helping you, then I understand that.
Right.
And I also understand people just smoking recreationally. You know what I mean? But I think there are some people that it's gone beyond where they start to almost look bad.
Yeah.
The smoke is settled on their face, and now they look like a punching bag.
Right.
You know. They don't look presentable anymore. They don't smell good.
Well, they're also not alert.
Right. I know people who smoke marijuana that they don't smoke it so much that they smell like it all the time. But there are people who just, they reek. And marijuana is an offensive smell. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they reek of marijuana. But not only that, they just look bad. Yeah. They look lazy. They look like they don't have any goals. They look like zombies. Yeah. And after a while, I think it starts to that the thing that comes from the earth that's supposed to be good for you starts then to make you look like someone that you don't really want to be around unless you smoke weed too. Right.
So I guess the real question is like
I know people who drink, but they don't, I don't want to be around alcoholics.
Yeah, me neither.
But I don't mind being around people who drink.
Me neither.
I could be around someone who smokes a joint, but I don't want to be around somebody like Snoop Dogg. I don't want to be around that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think after a while, right. Yeah, I mean, we all have our vices, but I think the limitations and discipline go hand in hand. Yeah. Discipline really is your friend, and this is why discipline is your friend. Yeah. Because if you aren't disciplined in things that you do, it becomes the owner of you. You know what I mean? Like if you are someone who really, 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 really wants money, but then you go sell drugs and you be a prostitute, well then now money kind of owns you. Yeah. It makes you do crazy stuff, for it. But if you have money that's working for you, now you have discipline with money because now money's working for you. Yeah. So it's the same thing with if you have a drink. Yeah, it's nice to celebrate with a drink every while. But if every day you come home you have to have a drink to relax, you know what I mean?
Where does the limit happen?
Right. And it takes over your physical self. Right. You know? So the same thing as overeating. It can take over your physical self. It's good to eat. We can't get rid of eating.
Well, so I'm getting back into my health, right? Because I've gained a lot of weight back from when we got back from New York. I was slimmer, I lost a lot of weight in New York, and I pretty much kept it off for the first couple of years of us being home. But I knew I was going to gain some back because being home I just knew that was going to happen. Not as mobile in Indiana as you are in New York. So, but I'm starting to get back into my health and making sure that I, eat right, drink water and all that stuff, and get back into that. But it's making me realize that how messed up my limits are.
But without
I was just eating unconsciously.
I would say with us though, we weren't raised that way, and so without sounding, because I was raised by good people, but we weren't raised with limits. You know what I mean? When I spent time with my grandmother, my grandmother would feed you until you could not stand anymore. But also there was always liquor going around. Yeah. There was always smoking going around. There was always food going around. So there were no limitations. In my life, I wasn't raised with discipline. Right. I was raised that if you have a job and you bought it, you have the right to do what the hell you want to do with your money. It's your business. You know what I mean? But
respecting your elders type thing, that we got that. Yeah. We got that.
But even with dating the wrong people, whenever I was younger, I would let men date me and treat me bad, and I had no limits. I couldn't tell them to stop. I literally would just fall in line with that. And so I think that as I've gotten older and I've learned discipline, with money, men. Food, right? And discipline really is your friend. And there are limitation problems, and he is right that if you don't get a hold of the things that are outside of the things that we love, they become we start to see it on you. I mean, like I was saying. I think it's just like even with working out, it's like they always say discipline. Yeah. Discipline is your friend mostly because it'll make you do it when you don't want to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? There are times that I would like a glass of wine, but. Yeah. I don't need it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I always think that, so you should really need anything. so much outside.
You mean
of
it's like substance type things,
right?
So.
There should be something that you should have a natural high of life.
Yeah.
It shouldn't come from
partying and drinking and smoking.
Like you shouldn't have to go You shouldn't have to go to a club all the time. You shouldn't have to drink all the time. You shouldn't have to smoke all the time. You shouldn't have to buy things all the time. You should have a natural high of living. And I think that a lot of times when we abuse things with limitations is because we aren't facing something.
Yeah. Well, then the quality of your life is not being treated right. So then I was thinking about when it comes to limits with relationships. This is where we all mess up, right? So friendships or just relationships in general, when you just let people run awry in your life and you don't have a limit to when they're like when they're what you accept and what you don't accept. I feel like you'll keep allowing the same people in if you don't put that limit there, and say no more of that.
I'm very addicted. It's so funny because I'm very addicted to discipline.
Yeah.
Not that I'm disciplined in everything, but I love to watch people who are disciplined.
Yeah.
And I love to learn from disciplined people, and I feel like I get better and better with it. But I think it's changed my life. It has helped me to see my own shortcomings in life. And I really feel like I told you, what's his name? The guy on my Facebook page. I don't know what's his name. But just watching him do his business.
Oh yes, yeah.
I would say
it's inspiring to see someone. Yeah.
Like I'm like it's sold on this guy. You know what I mean? Like and he friended me a while back. I don't know him. You know what I mean? But I would say that he's one of those people that like Tony Robbins, or he just makes you want to be better.
Yeah. And that's I love
like
people
that.
Like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so many
it's motivational.
not to be down because men, because I know men are men. I'm sure when he's not on camera, he's probably said some dirty jokes about women.
Yeah.
But it's just inspiring to see a young black man doing something with his life, but also living his words.
Yeah.
And I'm inspired by people because I read books and I read I read books and I listen to a lot of motivational things, and I'm inspired by people's lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one thing it's one of my my hobbies that I love to do is to read spiritual content. Yeah. And I love to read well, that's why I watch motivators and
I watch a lot of podcasts.
But there is just something about this guy that like I'm so grateful that he friended me. Because I'm like so grateful that he friended me because every time I see him I'm just like, God, you just really make me want to be better.
Right. Right. And I have watched a few of his
I actually keep some of his motivational clips and like I listen to them sometimes like in the morning before I go to work. It's like 5-minute clips, but they're really good. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're really good.
So he's somebody who has no limits in a good way. Yeah. Like the sky's the limit for him, and that's a whole different realm of it. But yeah, I do like that when someone is motivational. Yeah,
or just inspiring. They're doing something with their life, and he is a crap load of discipline. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he has limitations, but you can see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Well,
and all of his friends that he hangs out with are just like him.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens though. When you
I love it.
Yeah, when you are engaged in your own life, you'll notice that the people who surround you will mirror that. Like they're going to be the same type of people. Right. They'll mirror that.
Yeah, but you motivate me.
Oh, thanks.
You know, like you do. I mean, literally, I don't think you have to have a lot of people around you. No. You just need.
But I'm just saying that
solid person. But
you'll notice.
You definitely motivate me.
That's good.
To do things. You know, and sometimes it's for small things. Like I'm not the most. Well, I would say I'm not the most emotional person, outwardly emotional person, but you make it. You help me to realize that I can be vulnerable.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean, and because you're so good at it.
Oh,
you know what I mean.
I think it's with my nature, the nature of who I am.
And then for me, I can be.
Well, you're determined.
I'm more of a determined person, but when it comes, especially like in relationships, relationships, I would say the one thing that terrifies me the most is relationships. Because it's a
romantic relationships or just relationships in general, like with
romantic relationships, not friendships. I can always get friends, but romantic relationships because it puts you in a place where you have to be vulnerable with someone, and you have to be able to let go.
Right. Show them who you really are. So you saying you struggle with
Yeah.
What is it though? Is it the uncertainty of how they're going to receive you, or the idea they may just hurt your feelings, abandon your
right? I mean, I think by nature I am a what do you call it when you're not I take risk all the time, but I would say that I am more of a what do you call it when it's not a real risk?
A calculated.
I'm more of a calculated risk type of person.
Okay.
I usually take risks that I know that are going to benefit me. In the end, you know what I mean. But relationships, you can't take that risk like that. You kind of have to just
with matters of the heart,
you have to let it go, and that is very hard. That is very hard for me. And that's where my feminine side lacks.
Right.
Because I think that I become more masculine sometimes in my attempt to keep myself
But do you
protected.
think you're still like that? You still feel like you're something a little bit like that? Well,
I know what it is. Like, I feel what it is like, I used to be the kind of person that I liked... I would let anybody into my life, really, kind of. And that's never good either, by the way. Don't ever do that. Right. But I think over the years, because I've gotten so happy with being where I am, I'm so happy right now. You know what I mean? Right. And I feel like things are going well. You know what I mean?
You're actually... I've obviously known you all my life. I've always been around you. Like, you're completely different than the way that you used to be.
Yeah, so, I found spirituality.
I mean, you still have your own struggles and stuff, but
I found spirituality.
That changes everything because it makes you centered within yourself. So you're able to...
When you lose everything,
it changes you.
When you hit a bottom...
That's why we talk about this a lot.
I think, what's his name? T.D. Jakes said, and this is when I was really depressed. And you know how like I said, this is how the universe works. I'm not a religious girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I will listen to... some things sometimes. Like I love a lot of religious music. Right. You know what I mean? But I'm not a religious girl. Right. You know what I mean? Because some things are just common sense. Yeah, so they just really touch you. Yeah. And how
words are important to me. Yeah.
Right. So, but T.D. Jakes said once, and this is when I was really, really depressed. When we lost everything, I was homeless, and I was really, really depressed. And he said this one thing in the sermon that really like made me cry because it was where I was, and he was like. Sometimes God has to strip you of everything from your friends, your family, your money, your everything, so He can get you alone and get your attention. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, for some reason, that made so much sense to me that I became very spiritual.
Well, it's oddly comforting, although you would think hearing that would be discomforting. Strip you of everything and then have to get you alone. It sounds just not comforting, but really it kind of is. Yeah. Because what that is saying is that you are about to be rebuilt into the person you are supposed to be, not the person you were pretending to be, and not the person you weren't respecting yourself before, right? In a real way with money and a relationship and stuff like that. So stripping yourself down, and you know, in our situation, it came to an ultimate strip down where we just kind of lost everything. And we bring this up like numerous times in some of our videos about our circumstance and, you know, what we've been through and having lost everything. We bring that up sometimes because that is the one thing that has made, I know with me, become who I believe I'm supposed to be. And then you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm just getting better. Yeah. I'm just getting better and better and better. So that me having to lose everything made me look at the fact that, one, I had no limitations, and two, I wasn't being limitless to in areas I was supposed to be. You know what I mean? So it made me just kind of grow. Yeah. It made me grow. So it probably sent you comfort what he was saying because
at the time
you kind of felt like yourself again.
At the time I lost everything. Yeah. I was having men problems. Yeah. I was way overweight. I had no money at all. And so I was really lost in every area of my life. You know, I had no family.
I can relate to that.
You know what I mean? I was lost at that point in my life. I was lost in being homeless, being overweight, not having any money, not having a love interest. And you really feel irrelevant to the world. Yeah. You really don't feel like you mean anything to you. But when he said that, it made me realize, and it built, it was a, you know, something, it was one of those things that happened, but then it changed me because I really started to find spirituality and really realizing that, you know, that I'm a soul. We're all souls. And then in our Kara that you talk to is really just a personality that I'm talking to, but there's something that's bigger than just Kara that's inside of me. You know what I mean? And I feel like it made me feel comfort in knowing that that I'm really just I'm really just here to, I'm here to do much more, than what I even thought I was here to do. So all those things I was crying about and all those things I was sad about were really not who I was anyway.
Right.
And I was mourning being the lie.
Yeah, right. And that's the
You know
thing.
what I mean?
Is
I was mourning being the lie. So when we talk
Yeah.
about limitations, I think like, it brought me to that because I didn't limit myself so many years of my life. I never really limited myself. Like I said, I never said no to men. I never, boyfriends that I had, I never said no to them. I always gave them money. I always ate too much. I always, even when I went out to a party, I drank too much. You know what I mean? I used to smoke cigarettes in my younger years. When I was 18, I smoked too much. You know what I mean? I did everything in excess. And I feel like when I lost everything, I was really broken down to a level of, like T.D. Jakes says, the God had a handle of me because I couldn't buy my way out of this, and I couldn't sleep with someone else to get I had to face everything that I had brought me
and kind of just go through it. Right. And I do think that limitations are like there are some where there are times in your life where you should have no limits, like when it comes to your dreams and all that. Like the sky's the limit. Right. To me, I think the limit. But when it comes to achieving those things, there should be a limitation and discipline on how to get there. I think that you just kind of like run amok. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get anything done that way either.
So it's just like I really feel like limitations, determination kind of go hand in hand, but it really is just loving yourself.
Well, because it has something to do with self-esteem too, right? Because if you don't have limitations, and it means you're not disciplined, like you said, not disciplined, and that means that there's some part of you that does not love yourself, or you don't respect yourself enough and give yourself enough honor to maybe show some type of discipline to make your life better.
Right.
So,
but then how much do you respect God if you don't respect yourself?
Right.
You know, because God is a part of you. So everything in you has to be disciplined to that God side of you, your soul, those things. So if you don't have limitations, to me, and then you don't have discipline, and then your life just goes to shit.
Yeah.
Then you really don't. You really, I guess, like we were saying last time, you really can't say that you don't really trust God much.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
you don't trust that side of you at all. You just think you trust the world more than you trust your spiritual side. And really, I've really realized how much spirituality means more to me than how much that takes you further. And really understanding that. I mean, I feel like I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out for a long time because I had been baptized Catholic, and organized religion never really did it for me. You know what I mean? But I feel like now that I've understood like universal laws and understanding spirituality and how it all works out and strength within you and how that's part of God, now I do get organized religion. Yeah. It's not that I want to do it, but I get it now because it's all one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's trying to reach the same thing in a different way. I mean, everybody's trying to reach the same, hopefully positive, higher purpose in a different way. That's all it kind of is. So how you get there is.
But I mean, right. But I think that also those like the downfalls of your life are there purposely so that it can show you.
What I always tell people is that people always feel like when your life is falling apart, I guess you could say, that you're somehow not going to be able to recover from that. You know what I mean? You're not being able to recover from that. And I always feel like whenever things are not going like good in your life and you feel like when people say that I'm broken, I hate when people say that. I'm broken. I'm like, no, you're not broken. Life has done a lot of things. Yeah. But if you allow it to break you, then that's when you know it's all over. I always say that you may get bent up a little bit, you may get bruised up a little bit, but you cannot be broken if you can have that kind of that God in your life, or whatever your higher power is, or however you think spiritually, and then discipline. You have those things, you can kind of recover from anything, I think. Yeah.
They say they take 67 days to change a habit.
I know, I thought it was less than that. I thought it was 3 weeks.
They say that scientifically it takes 67 days to change a habit. So if you can do something positive for 67 days, then you have a new habit. Yeah. And that goes into your subconscious. Yeah. And you believe it. And then you draw more of it to you. Yeah. So I always make it a habit of when I see something that I lack, then I really start to feed my brain the truth. Right. Because a lot of people will think because especially if they're poor, they'll go, oh, but the truth is I'm just poor. Like no, the truth is what you're wealthy.
Yeah, you're wealthy. I don't know what that means.
The truth is you're wealthy. No, you are. Yeah. No, but no, I don't. I don't have them. I was like, no, you are. Stop saying that.
So you don't live in
people don't realize the word I am.
You don't believe you don't live an abundant life.
Yeah.
Then.
When you say I am, you are really speaking to your. You are definitely speaking to God when you say I am. Right. And so if you sit around saying I am sick, I am I am broke, I am overweight, then what you're saying that you're owning that. Yeah. And so you really begin to say that. You say that for 67 days, which most people say it for much longer. They say it for half their life, and they just truly believe that, and that's why you can never change. That's why they say you can. That's why discipline is so hard, and that's why discipline is necessary, because people say things so long that they almost just really believe it, and then it seems like discipline is like a punishment. Yeah. But what it ends up being is it's your friend. Yeah. Because the truth is you can do anything with God's the strength of God like really in you.
Well, that's what that guy was saying that we watched. He said that the universe and God says yes to everything. So if you are saying I am beautiful and accomplished and talented and worth it, God and the universe says yes. If you say I'm ugly, I have nothing, I'm broke, I'll never have that, get married, God and the universe says yes. Yeah. So God is always saying, I feel, this is what my belief is that I always feel like, I do believe that God is saying yes to everything that you are saying. Watch what you're saying. Yeah.
Because, I say every morning, I say I'm beautiful. Yeah. And I just say it. And I really...
Well, there was a time I wasn't able to say that,
No, and not mean it, but I know I say it, and I do. I am beautiful, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. I say all of those things because I am.
Yeah. The one thing I can't stand is when I can't stand, I don't say it that way, but it's disheartening when I talk to women and give them a compliment, a woman or anybody a compliment, and then they'll immediately go, oh no, I'm not. Like, oh, you look so pretty. No, I'm not. I don't look pretty. I don't look pretty. I'm like, no, you're ruining your spirit right now. Don't do that. Believe
you're
in
beautiful,
yourself.
Just say thank you. Yeah. Affirm it. Yeah. Who it is. Even
if it's uncomfortable, because some people are not ready.
I think that, because people always...
I used to do that.
People feel uncomfortable with it because, especially like you say, we see people on Facebook and they're all like, I'm the shit. And, they're always saying that, how hot they look and how great they look. And, you don't believe that. You don't really believe it. You're just saying that. You know what I mean?
There's something, that's just going on. You gotta have some
humility too. But I'm just saying, alone, when you're by yourself, alone, it's to me, when I'm by myself, I really just say,
So when you see, let me ask you this, I'm gonna interrupt you, but when you see people that on like social media, that say that that say I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm hot, and man, look at me, I'm too hot to handle, that kind of thing. So do you think that they're kind of just believing in themselves, or do you think it's kind of suspect? Because
I think it's kind of both. I think there's a lot of people that say that don't feel good about themselves. Yeah. And they're just trying to feel good about themselves, and I can appreciate that. If you want to go and say, I feel, if you feel like crap, but you want to say I'm the shit, I get that. You should say that. Yeah. But it can be obnoxious, I guess, when you see someone who puts a picture up every day. Yeah. All day. Not just
affirming themselves.
Not just one picture, like a ticker tape of paper. Yeah. Pictures. Yeah. Saying, and I guess that to each his own. You do have things to do, but I'm just saying, like, affirming in a mirror. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that you know who you are before you walk out the door. Right. You don't have to do that. Yeah. You don't have to do stuff like that if you know it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I tell myself in the camera I'm beautiful, but I don't walk around taking pictures. Look at this gorgeous chick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do that. But you know what? People tell me I'm a good looking woman, maybe because I believe it. Yeah. Because I just don't give that energy.
Whenever I have deep conversations with people, and it turns into me telling me about my situation, and staying in a hotel and that whole thing. It's not even a drag, to be honest with you. It's actually a pretty positive thing for me. But people really can't believe it. And someone said, well, you don't look like what you've been through. And I always appreciate that. Yeah, I always appreciate that because I'm like, I never, when people said that before, I'm like, oh, I never really thought much of it. But I'm thinking, well, maybe. Maybe. So I don't know. I think it's something to be said for feeling good about yourself. Yeah. I didn't feel good about myself when we first got here. No. That was not a good feeling, y'all. I was not on board with liking myself. I was not on board with achieving anything. I thought this was the end of the world. You lose everything, got no money, it's the end of the world. And I thought, well, no, maybe you got to switch the way you're thinking. Maybe that's why you're in the situation you're in now, because you weren't having affirming thoughts. I believe in affirming thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like around women because I'm 43, but I'll be around women who are in their 40s.
Yeah,
and they'll sit there and go, "Ooh, when I was cute when I was young," and they show you their pictures of when they were 25.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when I was 25, I had such low self-esteem, and I didn't think I was cute at all. But I'm happy that I'm in the reverse because I don't feel like I live in the past. I feel like I live in the now. I think I look better now than I did when I was 25.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of getting older, to be honest with you, is I think that we just start looking better. Men and women. I think it's because of the life experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? And how you handle it. So obviously, if you have went a wrong direction, it won't show. But I'm just saying that the beauty of getting older is that I do think people not only get wiser, I think they get more attractive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they say 40 is the new 20.
Yeah.
And I actually really kind of believe that because I actually feel better now than I did when I was 20.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Physically, I was completely out of shape.
Well,
but now I feel a lot better physically. I feel I look better. I feel that I have a better mind frame, and I feel like because when you get older, you start to as you're getting older, you become more wiser. Yeah. So you kind of wish you had that mind when you're younger. Yeah. But, wisdom really isn't given.
When you're in 20s, though, you're trying to appease everybody, and you're also wanting people to validate you.
Right.
When you're in 20s, so if you find yourself in your 30s and 40s still in that frame of mind where you need people to validate you and to appease you in some way, then you need to get a jump on things because you're still living in the past. So I think what happens is when you're in your 20s, you're just not know who you are yet.
And it almost starts feeling like when you hit 40, like life is beginning again.
It does. It's weird.
It's the big. I think maybe.
Were you afraid of 40 though?
No,
I was never afraid of it.
I think 40 was my favorite.
Yeah. I was never afraid of 40.
And that's
were you afraid of 30?
No.
I
feel like
I don't feel weird.
I think I like every decade, but when I was when I was 16, I couldn't wait to be 18. Yeah. So you never like always. When I was younger, I never liked my age. Right. I always wanted to be older and older and older. Right. But then when I hit 30, I would say 30 was probably the worst, just because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I was kind of, I wanted to be a makeup artist, and then that didn't work out. I didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? So I just decided that now what the hell do I do? So I was kind of lost. And then I moved home because I was lost. I needed to leave New York. And then I lost everything. And so God just really said, that I have something much bigger for you. But it's gonna take me to really dismantle your life. Yeah. And it's gonna be scary as hell, but it's necessary. Yeah. And so my life and yours was also just really dismantled. But now I feel so reborn. So I have to say that this age right now, 43 years old, is my greatest year. And I would say last year was great, the year before was great, and this year is great. And next year is probably going to be even better because I feel like I've been on this wave of learning about myself for the last 3 years. And I feel like it's just getting bigger and better and better and better. And now I have such big visions.
Well, that's how now I realize.
So now I feel young because of it.
But I also realized that I was living before I was dysfunctional and mediocre, and you know what I mean. That's just the truth of it. Somebody got to tell the truth about who you were. Yeah. And, the truth of it was I was a mediocre basic person, and that's why I was having a mediocre basic life. I was in the most vibrant city in the world, but somehow I was.
It's like I didn't want to do this show.
So it's like when we came here, it was like it came in a more calm, I guess, city, like Indiana, I feel more vibrant, and I don't know what that is. I feel more vibrant, and I feel much better than I did, before. I don't feel mediocre anymore. I feel like I have a purpose, and that I can flourish in that way.
Sorry. Sorry. But you can flourish in that way. Sorry, my foot.
Her foot slipped. And that was funny. Okay, but yeah, I do. I feel like I'm just a renewed individual. I don't feel like a new person, but I do feel like a new, rejuvenated person. So
yeah. And it's like with our show. Yeah, I could never have done this in my 20s or in my 30s.
No way.
I mean, being in front of a camera and talking to you all. Talking to you all would have been. I'm a very private person, and for me to even do something like this, you know what I mean? And I just feel like I can do it now.
It doesn't matter, even if it was like just 5 people watching or the whatever we have now. It
doesn't matter.
60, 70
you know what I mean? It's
people.
just the idea of doing something becoming something. You know, and not like so much of like the subscriber count and all that, but that's fun. But like who you know, who I'm becoming, watching myself.
Literally on film. On film,
well,
on
I'm
camera,
watching myself become something, my best self.
Yeah,
and I'm always searching for that, my best self, because I like it. It's fun. You know what I mean?
You're supposed to though.
Yeah,
that's called living life. That's called living life abundantly.
I was watching this guy that he said if you're not doing something that's embarrassing you, you're not dreaming big enough. And so my dream is one of my biggest dreams was always to have like a show, like a podcast, but I was always afraid. You were always willing, but I was always afraid to do podcasts because I don't want to be on camera.
Right.
But you can't. In order to get something you want, you got to do something. You can't just you can't have fear and faith. You got to do both.
Right.
You know, and so I feel like I would love. I can't wait to the moment when we can interview people.
You guys, we have a whole vision. We're in the beginning process. We're trying to figure it all out, man. You know,
this is happening.
But it is fun for us to do every week. Yeah. We literally have good conversations every week with each other. So, but yeah, I had but the idea of putting yourself out there, you know, like you said, not necessarily, you know, the views and subscriber count, although that's important. We're not most people. We're not those kind of people who are going to fake it. We would like to have views and all that, but it's more of what's behind it. Like our mentality of doing something like this is just kind of putting yourself out there and loving what you're doing. You know what I mean? And then showing that to the world with the person that you care for the most. And that's to me, I feel like that is living an abundant life.
And that's
right
like
there.
what you were saying before. That's when it's okay to be limitless.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when
you take the constraints off of your dreams. And the thing is like now I really just dream big. You know what I mean? Like I never just say like this. Like I never just say I want to live in a house. I want to live in a mansion. Yeah. I want to be wealthy. You know what I mean? And I've prepared my life for that. And you know, I want to be financially.
People are afraid to say stuff like that.
I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I want to be wealthy, and I want to be married, and I want to have love, and that's my next challenge because I have to, like I was saying before, I have to be vulnerable. Yeah. You know what I mean? To find a man, that's part of that challenge. You know what I mean? Well, this was this challenge. Getting in front of a camera and talking to everybody. That's this challenge. My next challenge is love and being.
That means you got
not afraid.
That means you got to get into dating.
You got to date, and you know, got to stop. Got to stop. You know, being the single girl because
the single girls played. I mean, like
fun, but it's fun. But I do ultimately want to get married and everything. But I just realized now you're gonna have to get that new challenge. Of that.
Yeah. So I totally agree with what you're saying. You do have to kind of put yourself out there, live abundantly, to make sure that you understand that the sky is the limit, right? But then to get the things that you want, you do have to have some discipline and some limitations on things so you can live a happier life. That's what I feel like.
But what I found so interesting though is that I love that now my mind is so free, and I feel like you can do anything.
No, you can.
You can be anything you want. You can have anything you want. You know, we live in a really good time.
Yeah, we can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Literally, you know, I want to be a mother, and I can be it at this time period.
Yeah. We've gotten through probably one of the hardest times of our life, so I believe you can get anything done. So because I've gone through this, a very hard time. In my life, and then I've come out of it in a great way, and still rebuilding and still having a good time in my life, made me realize that you can do whatever the hell you want to do, and you can get through that. You know, whatever it is, you can get through that, but don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. Yeah. Just make sure that whatever you're doing, that you believe in it. Like, that's the most important part.
Really,
You believe in it. If you don't love it,
I love this. Yeah, this show we're doing, I love it.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't
do this.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
But I love it. I remember it's like put limits on things. Put limits on things that hold you back. But then take all that stuff, that limit that you took back, and put it limitless and the things you really want.
That's my point.
Like basically redirect it. You know what I mean? And take care of yourself. Be happy. You know what I mean? You only get one life, and you gotta live. You gotta live it how you really want to live it. Not live it the way people tell you that it should be. Whatever.
I did that.
Yeah, and you need to live it exactly how you want. I remember we used to say all the time that it's okay to be sad, but it's not okay to be sad all day. You don't have that right. Yeah. To be depressed too long.
Yeah. I don't believe in having a bad day. I believe having a bad moment in your day. And so when you have a bad day, that means that you have made the decision in your life to extend that moment to ruin the rest of your day. And so when people say, oh, I just had a really bad day today, then you control that. Yeah. So I don't believe in bad days.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, make good decisions.
I don't believe in bad days. I believe in bad moments, not bad days. Not whole days, not bad days. That means that there's somewhere you didn't get right in your day.
It's a good thing. We talk about accountability. That's our show is always based on. Yeah. And it's like every decision we make is a decision that affects our lives and whatever decision we decide to do. So understand that if you decide to be unhappy all day, because you can change that, that is a choice, then you have decided to be unhappy. And if you die tomorrow, you decided to be unhappy. Yeah. So be happy. So be happy. Figure it out. You know what I mean?
Sounds cliche, but I'm telling you, we found some kind of happiness in this, and I'm happy we did. So, yep, that's it. Did you guys? Do you have anything else you want to say? So, thank you guys for watching again. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the new subscribers that we have. We did see a little bit of a jump. Now, obviously not too much, but we appreciate every last one of you that watches any of our videos for any amount of time. So, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And hit the bell.
And hit the bell. And also go and like our Facebook page if you like. It's all Convos with Kara and Danielle, as always. And that's it. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.